a few weeks until I bang this drum as I do every year, so I might as well front load it. Just seeing all these games, and even though I know you said the schedule's been soft for a ton of them, and it has, but it just seems to me that when it all comes down to it, I'd love to see 8 teams battle it out. These guys, you just mentioned about LSU and obviously Ohio State with Justin Fields. It's possible Ohio State gets, picked off once, maybe twice in the Big Ten season. I don't think so. The same thing with Wisconsin. Same thing with Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia. I mean, one loss should not disqualify teams that are seemingly stacked like this, right? Or you tell me if I'm off here.
No, I'd like to see 8 teams as well, because I think right now you have 6 teams that seem like they can get in the playoff and win a playoff game.
Correct.
There's some other teams that can get in the playoff. I don't think they would. I just think they would be overmatched in that. You know what? You could even say maybe a 7th team. I was impressed by what I saw with Notre Dame. They still had some injuries, went into a really hostile environment in Athens, and held up and acquitted themselves really well against Georgia. So if you want to say the 7th team, they would certainly have to run the table and go 11-1 because they have no conference title game to prove themselves to get a little boost. But at this point, one thing I would point out is about who has a little margin for error. Clemson's is as talented as anybody, but as bad as the ACC is, this is the worst conference from like after Clemson that we've seen in a long time. There are maybe Virginia is a top 25 caliber team. After that, nobody is really close. I mean, you see it when Boston College looked like one of the better teams in the conference, and they got blown out by Kansas and Les Miles the week after Coastal Carolina beat them. You see Miami is down. Florida State is down. Those are the standard bearers, in addition to Clemson traditionally, of those programs that are in there, of those brands. Virginia Tech is down. Syracuse gets blown out by Maryland. I think that's a problem where I think Clemson is going to run through the ACC, including the title game. And what I wonder about is they won't get tested at all. Will that come back to bite them when they match up with somebody with similar talent in the playoff? It could.
I don't know. They just look so talented. The kid we see on the screen right here, radio audience, is Trevor Lawrence. I mean, really. He is just so amazing to watch. And then, the running game and then the wide receivers. I mean, every single wide receiver you see in the NFL, one invariably, not every single, but Clemson is just a factory when it comes to the defensive linemen that come out of Clemson now.
And it's
you can put them in right now. Is what I'm saying. Like, if you can put them in right now, and you're going to put Alabama in right now.
I would say Clemson is as close to a lock as you will ever get in late September.
I know, and Alabama's pretty damn near close to it too.
Pretty close. So, I think
they have to lose twice to not make it. Bruce, you and I both know
realistically,
that.
Yeah,
of course. So what? That's why I'm saying 8. Let's just for now. It's now. Forget about October. It's now with the way scheduling is in September. It's now affecting the way I'm watching football in September. I'm like, okay, I'm now going to sit here for the next few weeks and wonder who are the other 2 teams. I'd rather sit here and say who could be 6. Who could be currently 10th that can get into that spot. It makes it much more interesting.
I would hope it wouldn't affect how you watch it. I mean, anybody who stayed up late on Saturday night, granted, Washington State was undefeated at the time. I mean, that was a fun game. The craziness you get in Pac-12 After Dark is a reason to watch. There are no playoff teams going to be on that time slot.
I guess also, Bruce Feldman here on the Rich Eisen Show. Also, I've been turning my alma mater off at halftime 2 out of the last 3 weeks. So that might be dealing into it too.
For more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.